Welcome to Crow and Klein, here today with a daily energetic check-in. I want to apologize for this coming a little bit late. My sleep schedule's way off with these jobs that I'm working right now, and I crashed out hard. So this is going to come to you a little bit late, but it is going to get there today, okay? So please accept my apologies for that. I am using a version of the Rider-Waite deck for our cards of focus. And this is just a general pick a card reading today. So pile number 1, your card of focus is the 9 of Pentacles. And we're going to use the Wandering Star. Pile number 2, your card of focus is the 2 of Swords. And the tarot we're going to use is the Witch of the Forest, Tarot Magic. And pile number 3, your card of focus is the 6 of Swords. And we're going to use the Pulp Tarot for that. So once again, thank you for your patience. Feel free to pause and ponder, and I will see you in your pile. Welcome, pile number 1. And our card of focus is the 9 of Pentacles, right? Now, I could easily just say it's a card of success. It's a card of financial independence. Congratulations, and move on from there. But I want to dig into this card a little bit more because knowledge is power, right? So as we know, Pentacles are material cards. It's about, real life materials, real world materials. It's about a material world. I think there's a song about that. Anyway, and it does deal with what success means in a person's life. So unlike that 10 of Pentacles, this woman is sharply aware of the good things in her life, right? Her hand rests on the pentacles that are growing in the bushes. If you read more about this card, it says that her thumb is hooked into the vines of the grapes, the overabundance of the grapes behind her, but you can't really tell with this one, okay? It's a card of awareness, okay? And awareness is one of its basic meanings, especially self-awareness, right? And the ability to distinguish what matters in life, what goals truly demand our best efforts, okay? In a traditional Rider-Waite, there's a lot of yellow, right? And yellow deals with the solar plexus, which is self-confidence and self-reliance, believing in ourselves. Okay, so that is a sense, it's a form of achievement. So it doesn't really, it's not simply the material benefits, right? Like I said, it really does mean a sense of certainty that comes with knowing that you've made the right choices and follow them through with those necessary actions that we always talk about, okay? The pentacles growing on the bushes here symbolize a life that is productive and alive. So success in this card doesn't mean just worldly achievement, right? As success in creating ourselves out of the materials given to us. It's really about the circumstances that come with that and the conditions of our life, okay? And certainty, in its strongest sense, means more than just looking back and seeing what you've done, right? the right things that you've done. It also means that you have the ability to actually know what it is that you did right to reach this point where others can only guess. So this Nine of Pentacles stands as an emblem of this quality, right? It's the true mark of an evolved person. Okay? This is so beautiful to kind of get into these cards a little more. So we've also seen throughout the tarot deck with all the nines that the nines show compromises and choices. All of them do, right? And this theme is with this Nine of Pentacles as well. So this woman stands alone in her garden. And to achieve what she's had to give up normal companionship. She is here by herself with this falcon, which is sort of a symbol of status and luxury to a degree. But yeah, she's had to give up normal companionship. Now, this doesn't mean that this card is advising an ending to relationships, okay? But it does call for self-reliance. It's calling on you to trust you. That's part of the certainty of this card, okay? But there is a certain loneliness in the pursuit of the goals that comes with the Nine of Pentacles. All right? This is a card of discipline. And there is joy in true discipline that doesn't cripple us, but helps us soar. And we see that with the Nine of Pentacles. Okay? Wow. I love it. All right. We're going to use the Wandering Star to get into this because, my friends, you have achieved something. That is what this card is. It's achievement. It's the awareness of the achievement. It's the knowing how you got there and understanding the choices that you made to get there, right? This is beautiful. It is a very solo energy, right? It is financial independence. It took a while, but you grew your stable foundation, okay? All right, so thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. As I said before, I apologize for being a little late on this today. I'm working it out. I'm trying to figure out this. My sleep schedule isn't quite making sense to me yet. Oh, pardon me, my nose is itching. And I'm kind of missing my besties, my friends, and so one could say I'm on a solitary journey myself of the Nine of Pentacles. I'm just kidding. Anyway, please take it as it resonates. Take it as it resonates. This is a general reading for the collective. So anyway, I'm just happy that you're here with me on my journey, and I'm happy to be with you on yours. So, oh my goodness sakes. Here we have the Mother Star right away. Okay, so we know that the Mother Star is an extra card in this deck, but we also know it's a card of yes. So if you had a question coming into this reading, the answer is yes. But she also, she's collected everything. She's got the cups, she's got the pentacles, she's got the wands, you know. She's got the sword in her hand, but she also collected this cool, intuitive cat with the third eye and the butterfly wings, right? Now, this all gives her the ability to look back at the past and know why everything fell into alignment the way it did. She understands why things didn't, why things did, right? And all of that information helps making choices and decisions as you move forward. Okay, this is part of the nature of this reading. Now, I like this because there is a knowing in this card, right? And the Nine of Pentacles talks about stepping into a space of knowing what you did right to reach this level of achievement here in the material world. So we are right on track. In your energy, we have the Three of Swords. It's heartbreak, it's sorrow, it's grief, right? These are the heartbreaks, the sorrow, and the grief that we hold in our minds and in our hearts. So you've definitely had your heart broken. But when we talk about this Nine of Pentacles, we also understand that it was a solitary journey to get here. Okay, that maybe you had to leave companionships and relationships behind in the pursuit of this goal. But this goal was really important for you. And you did what you had to do. With this in your energy, now it's time to understand why everything fell the way that it fell, right? This is why the Mother Star is here. This is going to give you some relief with this heartache and this sorrow for the things that you perceive as not working out, right? Because when things don't work out, you guys, other things do. And I think that that's what this is about. It's an acknowledgement of the things that did work out for you. Keep in mind, we have the Four of Wands. Now, some people say it's a marriage card, but honestly, it's a milestone marker. It's a card of achievement. You crossed a finish line here, okay? Nine of Pentacles, you crossed a finish line. And so it says creativity, union, and freedom on here. This is a card of celebration and a card of freedom. Like sometimes people call this the party card too, which I kind of like because, you know, it's in a lot of cards, a lot of tarot decks, it's depicted as people dancing sort of with this archaic structure, you know, having fun without fear. So freedom. So achieving this Nine of Pentacles for you has created a sense of freedom. You know, maybe you can finally exhale. Maybe it's going to allow you time to look at other things in your life. Maybe there is a relationship out there for you. Maybe, if that's what you want. Maybe you've decided that, you know, being single and having your besties around is better. And that's okay too. But this is really a sense of freedom, and a sense of freedom that we get when we reach this level of self-reliance, self-independence. Is that a word, self-independence? Self-confidence is what I'm trying to say, right? Then we can kind of exhale, and it gives us relief from the pressures that we can face. Pressures we put on ourselves, right? That Nine of Pentacles is a very, very grounded energy as well. All right, let's get for this Mother Star. I really like where this is going. You really, really did the work. And I like that we dug into that Nine of Pentacles a little bit because it's making this reading quite a bit deeper, right? Don't you think? It's making it make a lot more sense. It's sort of connecting everything quite a bit better. So under the Mother Star, we have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. Feeling left out in the cold. It's a card of loss and struggle and hardship. Okay. I think for me personally, I think it's also a card of courage. You know, now we're sort of led to believe that this person doesn't realize there's a sanctuary of this church window, this stained glass church window behind them, right? As they're standing outside shivering. Yeah, maybe there was a perceived sanctuary behind you you didn't see. Maybe. I like to think that, especially with this Nine of Pentacles and this self-reliance coming out, I like to think that you did know about this perceived safety net sort of around you, but realized it wasn't for you and walked away. And by walking away, you walked away from whatever material world stability that gave you, which created the hardship, created the loss. The Five is a breakthrough, though. So what comes after the Five? The Six. It's a card of charity. It's a give and take. It's an ebb and flow with finances and material goods. So you made a decision, and you walked away from this because it wasn't what you thought it was. It wasn't what it was supposed to be. It wasn't what it was advertised as. It wasn't what was promised or offered. And rather than stay in a situation that wasn't working for you, you chose to stand outside in the cold, right? There are a lot more of us doing that these days, right? Saying no to that gratuitous carrot that ends up being more of an albatross, okay? All right. Let's get one for that Three of Swords. Let's get one for that Three of Swords. Let's get one for that Three of Swords. We have another three. Look at you. The Three of Wands. This is taking action, right? You had a plan, right? The Two of Wands is all about planning and influencing how you're going to build your world, right? The three is taking action on those plans. So it is a card of action. It's a card of adventure. There's a lot of good luck that comes with this card as well, right? This is in your energy. You took a chance. You built your world the way you wanted to, and you arrived at this Nine of Pentacles. I really think this is a fun card. She's like looking for the next adventure, right? Which you'll be able to do. With this level of material world stability, of course you're going to be able to look for the new adventure, whatever that is. Let's see what comes up with this Four of Wands. I'm very curious about this. Very, very curious about this. Yeah. The Justice card. So balance and equality. So yeah, the scales are balancing for you, right? So maybe there is some sort of a union coming in. You know, if you've sacrificed companionship on this journey, it's quite possible that since you've achieved this, that something's coming in. I mean, it's sort of alluded to a little bit in the keep in mind with the Justice and the Four of Wands, but let's keep going. There's a little tickling of that. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles, yeah. Struggle and hardship to your wake-up call. Career, beginnings, and travel. So there's something new, right? This is the bonk on the head card. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, as I like to say. Spark of an idea. This is an idea that is being given to you. This is something new, something fresh. Because you have the courage. And because you have this Mother Star card showing up in the nature of this reading, and you know, you're learning to understand why things worked out and why things didn't, right? Stepping away from something that you perceived as safe, because all of that, you're going to be so aware when this wake-up call comes in, when this idea, this creativity comes to you, right? And it could definitely be a new career. It can definitely be traveling, but it's a new beginning. It's an idea, it's a spark, it's fiery, it's juicy, passionate, stubborn, right? You had to reach this level of awareness with that Nine of Pentacles to see it. Good for you. In your energy is the Queen of Swords as well, right? There's a lot of strength with her. She's been through a lot to sit on that throne, right? And she carries the sword of truth now, so she can definitely see the truth, a lie, whatever, from a mile away. Okay? It's very, very smart, very ambitious. Intellect, right? There's a lot of strategy with this card, so there's some strategy. Although you're remaining in the truth of the situation, you know, sometimes we can sort of get into a fantasy, you know, when we're talking about building the world that we our world the way that we want to. We can get into a fantasy and we can actually live there without doing any of the work. This is not happening here. You're actually doing the work, but you're staying in the truth of it, right? You're staying in the truth of it while acknowledging this fun adventure that's coming, that you're building. I mean, you're already doing it. It's in your energy. What are you building? I love this for you. I love this for you. Under the Justice card comes the Four of Swords. So you've got two fours in the keep in mind pile. Yeah, you're going to be able to rest and recover. You're going to have some quiet time, right? It's almost like with that Justice card, like, how do I say it? Like someone's sorry. That you're being watched over while you rest is that sense that I'm getting from this. I don't know what that means. It means something for someone. Pardon me. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is being overburdened. The demands are heavy or were heavy on you. You're going to be able to lay this burden down, whatever it is. You're laying it down. That's why this Four of Wands or Four of Swords is showing up so you can get some rest. Okay. Yeah, maybe it was super stressful to get here, but you did it. You pushed forward. You didn't give up, right? You worked on what was important for you to work on, and you achieved that Nine of Pentacles. Or if you haven't, you're about to, okay? You're about to. Here we go, the Six of Pentacles, right? I just talked about that when I was talking about the Five over here. I'm not surprised to see it show up. It's giving and receiving. Excuse me. It's a card of family. All the sixes tend to do with sort of family to a certain degree. Yeah, giving and receiving. So there's some support here financially, maybe a reconnection. It is a card of charity. Personally, I think it's a card of philanthropy, right? When you reach a point when you have an overabundance, maybe you're going to have a charity. Maybe you're going to give back in some way. Maybe someone helped you and now you pay it forward, right? The great thing about that Nine of Pentacles is it's not a stingy energy. It's not a stingy energy. Okay, and you are definitely completing a cycle. This is a karmic cycle coming to an end here. This road that brought you to this. I'm going to cover her real quick. I don't want that. I want to give her something glittery. To this Nine of Pentacles. Okay. This was about completing a cycle. And maybe you had to do it on your own. Even if you're in a relationship, it still required self-reliance. Required you to do it on your own. Instead of asking everybody else what do I do next, you had to ask yourself, what do I do next? What's important to me? And that's an incredible place to be, right? Because oftentimes we lean on other people so much to make choices for us in our lives, but this is not the case for this reading. Excuse me. And we have the Ten of Cups, right? It's contentment. It's absolute joy and emotional wish fulfillment. This is the kind of happiness and joy and prosperity of happiness and joy. That's sort of that you carry with you, right? It ripples around to the people that you love. When you walk into a room, it seems to brighten. When you smile at someone, they smile back, that kind of thing, right? So you did something. You achieved something here. You achieved something here. On the bottom of the deck, we have a Lover's card. Okay, so yeah, maybe now is the time for a relationship, right? Because you had to compromise that to get where you wanted to go. Also, the Lovers really means kind of reuniting with your authentic self. Okay, coming into union with your authentic self, and then using that as a filter for everything in your world, everything that comes at you, every person that comes into your sphere, into your bubble, into your realm, every situation. You look at those things through this lens of your authentic self, and right? Because this reading is also about a knowing that you have achieved. So you know things that other people can only guess about you. There's a solidifying in that self-reliance of you because you are in alignment with your authentic self. Okay. Pile number 1, this is gorgeous reading. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe, share with your besties, and I'll see you next time. Welcome, pile number 2, and your card of focus is the Two of Swords. Now, often I will read this as, you have to make a choice, right? There's a decision that needs to be made. And sometimes I'll read it as you don't want to make the decision. And sometimes I read it as you go within, right? Blocking everything else out to listen to yourself. Okay, but we're going to go with the traditional meaning of this card today. So it's a little bit of a class lesson for myself too. So this card is, so one method of handling problems with the Two of Swords or opposition, like I say, is to push everything away beyond this emotional fence. Okay, because if we don't let anything approach us, nothing can hurt us. There is a deliberate closing of the eyes. This character has tied on that blindfold themselves. Okay, because if you take the blindfolds off and you uncross it, means once again involving yourself with other people. These swords remain ready to strike anybody that comes close. Okay, they can represent anger and fear, and this creates a very precarious balance here, right? One sword wants to strike out and the other one wants to hide, and this person remains very tense between the two. Okay, notice how this affects the posture of this woman here in this card. Okay, first of all, those arms are crossed, closing off the heart. Now these swords, heavy swords, they are raised from the center to cross in front of the chest, right? That how do I say that? It raises that center of gravity from the solar plexus up to the chest is what I'm trying to say. When a person holds something that heavy across the chest like that, and it basically means that they're holding an emotion. And when we do this, breathing becomes shallower, the body becomes more rigid. It must, because you're holding something heavy way up higher. Okay. Paradoxically, the attempt to stop emotion can make a person more emotional. I think we all know that, right? Kind of can spiral us and spin us. Swords are of the mind, right? So we're not really acting from the center, but from a constricted chest, and only seeing the world from, their own image inside this blindfold, right? They block the outside world out. Or only doing that. It's a very defensive attitude, okay? Because it does, even though it's swords, it's of the mind, it does make us focus on the emotion of the card, which, like I said, can be very, very defensive. Now, because of the weight of the swords, it's tricky, right? Because this can easily topple a person over, which is why this is so tense and so rigid here. Okay? So, basically, there's a choice to be made, right? There's a decision to be made, a choice to be had, decision to be made, however you say that. This person really, really wants to be left alone and wants peace of mind. Very understandable. I have days like that. All right. I have the Witch of the Forest Tarot. We're going to use this to dig into this card, energetic card of focus. I want to thank everyone so much for being here, and thank you so much for your patience with my weird wonky schedule. I am really trying to figure out my sleep schedule with these jobs that I'm working. It's been a little tricky. I think maybe, I just fell asleep. I fell asleep instead of doing this reading for you today. So, it'll get to you. My apologies. So thank you for showing up. I really appreciate you, and I'm super honored to be able to bring you this reading today. All right. We may be visited by the kitties because they're wondering why I'm up so early in the morning, and I'm up so early in the morning for you because this is important. I find this is important. It helps me. Hopefully it helps you too. So, wanting to be left alone, wanting to have peace of mind, but also the possibility of choice, a decision that needs to be made, okay? Okay, Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, so you've been working long and hard. This is the nature of, right? Working really long and hard. You've planted a seed for something. You've been waiting for it to grow, right? This is a card of faith. But it's also a card of reevaluating the situation. You haven't seen the fruits of your labor yet. This is sort of a crossroad card, right? Of trying to decide whether this is something to stick with or something to let go. In your energy is the Justice card. Holy guacamole, right? This is karmic justice. This is a balancing of the karmic scales. All right. The only thing, it's a very unbiased energy, right? And it's in your energy. All right, do you have to wield justice for something? Is this why you're refusing to make this decision? The decision is yours. You don't want to make it for some reason. Let's figure out why. I mean, there's a knowing here. You know that you're the one that has to do this. But you don't want to. You want to be left alone. You don't want the burden of it. You don't want the emotion of it, although as it said, the Two of Swords is highly emotional. Keep in mind, it's the heartache card. So whatever this is, this decision, you already know what you have to do, and it's heartbreaking. All right, it is a loss. It is about grief. It is going to involve grief and loss, but it's a decision that you have to make nonetheless. You already know. You have the Justice card in your energy. Aw, I'm sorry. You know, and maybe it's about whatever this is that you've been working towards, this goal that you've been working towards, this thing that you've been working so hard to do. Oh my goodness sakes, we have a double tap on the Two of Swords. Yeah, you really want to be left alone. You really don't want to make this decision and this choice. But you have to. You've got a double tap here. I don't think there's any avoiding it. There's no avoiding it. You're going to have to drop those swords and get her done, right? And it's going to be hard. But that Justice card is showing up in your energy, so it's not really something you can avoid, right? As the Two of Swords talks about avoiding a situation or an opposition or something like that by crossing the arms with the swords. In your energy, we have the Page of Cups showing up. So it's like, yeah, you're waiting for a sign. Like you're waiting for a message. You're waiting for something. You're waiting for the right moment. Like there's going to be a sign of synchronicity that says when it's time. Perhaps. This is really an interesting reading pile. Number 2, what is going on? What is going on? Keep in mind, you've got to stand your ground on this one. You're going to have to make this decision. You already know what it is with that Justice card showing up in your energy, and you're going to have to stick to your guns. Okay, it feels like you're blocking other people out because maybe no one is agreeing with the decision that you're about to make. Maybe you have talked to others about it and you finally stopped talking to them because they kept telling you were making the wrong decision. Stand your ground. You're making the right decision. Even if it's heartbreaking or bittersweet, allow yourself to grieve whatever it is that you have to make a decision about, who or what or where. I mean, it can be any kind of decision. Stand your ground. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. I feel like that's where this reading is going now. Like maybe you did try to talk to others about this decision that you needed to. I don't know why I tried to straighten that and made it worse. About making this decision, right? And you weren't getting the support that you needed because you know that you're just whatever you're deciding is right. Stand your ground. Okay, did that help at all? Okay. Stand your ground. You're making the right decision. You seriously have this double tap on the Two of Swords. And once again, Justice, Lady Justice is in your energy. You are Lady Justice right now. Okay, we have the Four of Swords coming up under that too. So you're going to be able to rest. You're going to have to rest. You're going to have to recover after this, okay? Make the decision and allow yourself to recover. Okay. Make the decision. It's going to release a lot of tension. It's going to release that rigidity. It's going to release sort of the sort of out of control emotions that can come hand in hand with that Two of Swords. And in your energy, Empress, yeah, you're going to come back to yourself. This is a hard decision for you to make. You know the decision you have to make. You know the right thing to do. It's not going to feel good, but it's going to bring you back to yourself, okay? Back to the abundance of you. Wow. Okay. It's kind of heavy, but it's also like when you come out of this and you make the decision, you make the choice instead of avoiding it, it's going to be this huge relief. Okay? Huge relief. Yeah, you're going to lay down this burden. You're going to be, this is the 10 of Wands. You're going to be able to lay down your burden, okay? You've been fatigued, burnt out, overstressed with the heaviness of the demands on you. Making this decision, you know, as hard as it's going to be, and standing your ground with it, it's going to allow you some relief, which is what we just talked about here in your, that's showing up in your energy, okay? This seems kind of specific today, so, you know, take it as it resonates. This is just what's coming out. Okay. Here's the Knight of Cups. So there definitely is a message coming, you know, the page is a messenger. That's in your energy. And the Knight takes that message and it brings it forwards towards you, right? A proposal, a quest, some sort of message of love or an invitation or something like that, okay? So, I mean, there are good things coming, but it almost feels like, yeah, it flew out of the deck, the Four of Pentacles. It's a real holding on energy, like holding on for dear life, right? This is strategizing with finances and whatnot. So maybe you're attempting to remove yourself from a situation or make a decision about a situation. And maybe you've had to really sort of budget and be prepared in a different kind of way for what it is that you have to do. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, it really feels like by blocking out the world and kind of avoiding making this decision, you've literally blocked the energy in your life. So maybe you're at a point where you're feeling kind of stagnant, like nothing's working out. So really this reading is advising you to take the blindfold off, lay down the swords, and make the decision, right? You've got to make this, and then everything's just gonna go whoosh. It's gonna move, and messages are gonna start coming in again, and you're gonna see the abundance of who you are in your beautiful being. You're gonna be able to lay your burden down. You're gonna be able to get some rest, right? Just stand your ground. Don't let anyone deter you from what it is that you need to do right now, because it feels like it's really important. Okay. It is, because here's the Wheel of Fortune. This is your card of destiny and karma. This is something that you need to do, right, in order to get that energy moving in your life again. Five of Swords. That's the fight card, right? Fight, conflict, fight. It's a card sometimes where we forget what we're fighting for, right? The fight has just it's just gone on and on and on and on with no end in sight, right? So you're walking away. Either this is you walking away or this is you standing there going, yeah, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done fighting yet? Because I'm done, right? Fives are kind of breakthrough cards as well. So this is also a bit of an awareness that, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I don't need you to believe what I believe. I don't need you to stand by me in this conflict. I'm done. This to me is perfect to go with the Seven of Wands, stand your ground energy, right? You stood your ground. Now make the decision. Take the action. It's very, very necessary for you to do that right now. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. This is confirmation for someone. This is not new information. You know who you are. Yep. Time to walk away. Time to walk away. That's part of your decision. You've got, and you know, with the Eight of Cups, we're walking away from things that once gave us joy, right? And this could be part of your decision. Is something here that you're walking away from is going to be really hard and it's going to be sad, but it is for your best and highest good. It's for the best and highest good of everybody. You know, oftentimes, like say it's a relationship. Now this is just an example, because this could definitely be a situation, a living in place, whatever. But just for example's sake, say it's a relationship, right? And it's time to walk away and you walk away from it. Okay. It doesn't mean that that relationship wasn't good at some point. It doesn't mean that it didn't help us grow in some way. It doesn't mean that it wasn't aligned with us for our best and highest good at some point. It just means that it no longer is now. Okay. That it's run its course. So please have gratitude for the things that you walk away from. Okay, because they did mean something at one time, right? I love that this figure is looking back at this moon. Moon, guide me, right? Looking for guidance, walking into the unknown, looking for guidance through the mystical, magical, the dreamlike world of the moon. Okay. All right. Anything else wants to come out? Yeah, this was an interesting read, pile number 2. And like I said, it really seems to me that it's more of a confirmation than anything else. We have the Queen of Wands. Well, you know how I feel about her, right? Change genders as needed. Don't get hung up on that. Oh, look at the black kitty. Yeah, so you're meant to step back into that abundance in your energy of that Empress, right? And you're also meant to embrace that, you know, that sort of self-reliance, self-confidence, the creativity, the trailblazing adventure attitude of this Queen of Wands, right? She doesn't need an entourage to make a decision. She doesn't need an entourage to go to the bathroom, right? She doesn't need an entourage to advise her on what to do. Although she does listen to advice, absolutely, openly listens to advice, but then does what's right for her, okay? Like I said, I consider her a trailblazer because oftentimes it's a very creative way. It's a very creative path that she takes to reach her goals, her dreams, her desires. Make it happen, Captain, right? The king is the same way. It's just the masculine of that energy, right? And I love that she has her little familiar here, this little cat. So, yeah, you have places to go, people to see, energies to step into. You are, in effect, justice, Lady Justice in your energy for this decision that you're making. And please keep in mind that if, like I was talking about with this 8 here, if it is, just for an example, if it is a relationship that needs to end, understand that ending it is not only going to be really good for you, but for everybody involved. That's what that Justice card in your energy means. That the decision you make, however hard it's going to be for you and for everybody that's involved in that situation, or for the situation itself, or like I said, if it's just moving from a place, like it's going to be for the best and highest good for everybody and all things and all places and all situations involved in that. Okay, that's what that Justice card is saying, showing up in your energy there. All right, pile number 2. That is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe, share with your besties, and I will see you next time. Welcome, pile number 3, and our card of focus is the 6 of Swords. Okay, now we're kind of getting into more traditional meanings with these cards today, which is kind of cool. You know, it's good for me too. But let's talk about this card because it is kind of a strange and powerful image, right? You have this boat, you have these shrouded figures, we have the swords poking into the boat, but it doesn't sink. You know, there's this land across the water. So basically basically this is a journey by water, okay? It's a route, it's a way, it's expedient. And they're crossing at twilight, right? And this ferryman is, or boatman, or a ferryman, or whatever you want to call this person. Watch out, baby. Is carrying the shrouded figure, and it looks like a child across the water, right? So it has a sense of mourning or sadness to it, to a certain degree. In myth, Chiron carries the dead across the river Styx. So it does sort of mean that, right? And a great silence fills the card. And we sort of get that impression when we look at this, right? There is a sense of silence with this card, okay? It depicts a quiet passage through a difficult time. And it's interesting, again, to note that the swords do not weigh down the boat, okay? And so, yeah, we carry our troubles with us, and we've adapted to them. They don't sink us anymore, and they can't bear us down either. So on a simple level, it's about functioning in a difficult situation without really attacking the problem, right? It's just about sort of floating through it. You know, as we look deeper into this card, there is this image of long sorrow, right? Maybe mourning. But it's something that is sort of inferred that this person has felt for a really long time, so long that it doesn't really give pain anymore, right? It's become part of life. It's an adaptable pain, or an adaptive pain. Is that how I say that? Adapted to the level of discomfort to where it has become part of life. Which leads us to this quiet passage, like physically or spiritually, whichever it is. It's a time of easy transition. Now, this card also talks about this ferryman with the black pole propelling them along, okay? The black indicates potentiality. So where nothing final has happened, all things remain possible as they're sort of crossing to this land of abundance where the trees are over here. So there is a lot of potential with this card. And by staying calm through this difficult time, you've not wasted energy or opportunity. Nothing has been wasted, all right? This is about crossing into calmer waters. It's about moving on from a situation into an energy of discovery and exploration, whether that's internal or external, physical or spiritual. That is really up to the person crossing. Okay. I like this. I like it because not only does it acknowledge discomfort, it acknowledges how we allow things to how we allow ourselves to adapt to something so much that it just becomes part of who we are, right? Like if we think about someone who's in chronic pain, people who've never been in chronic pain don't understand it, right? But when you're in chronic pain, you just get used to it, right? You just get used to it. If that makes any sense. I know it makes sense to someone out there. Anyway, it makes sense to me. Anyway, I have the Pulp Tarot here, and we're going to talk about this. I want to thank you all again for being here. I really appreciate you. My apologies once again for getting this out late. I'm really, really struggling a little bit to figure out my sleep pattern with these jobs I'm working right now, and especially this overnight job. Very, very physical, and I get tired. So My apologies. I fell asleep instead of doing your reading for you on time. So this will come to you today. It'll get there. So thank you for your patience. I'm really honored to be able to bring these readings for you. And I will figure out my timing a little better. So anyway, happy to have you aboard. Happy to be with you on your journey. Please take this as it resonates. This is your opportunity to practice that flexing that discernment muscle, right? Strengthening that intuition, learning to trust your intuition. All right. Moving away from a difficult situation, moving on. You got, whoa. Oh, celebration card was left on the deck, or on the pad. Community, support, and celebration. Okay, let's put that back in. I'm going to shuffle a couple more times. Yeah, moving away from a difficult time, right? Because what comes before the 6? The 5. The 5. The 5 is conflict. The 5 is a bully energy. The 5 is winning at all costs. And the 5 of Swords is also kind of about losing track of why you're even fighting in the first place, right? So moving away, moving, into calmer waters, allowing for the possibilities that are still there because you chose to just kind of let it go and move on. Excuse me. Dun, da, 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 the Ace of Swords. Yep. Sword of Truth. You saw the truth of the situation, right? Full on clarity. This is what allowed you to hop in that boat. Okay. In your energy, the 2 of Cups. This is a soulmate connection. So maybe someone helped you. Maybe the person who's helping you move into calmer waters is a soulmate. Now, this doesn't always mean it's a romantic interest. It can, but it can be a best friend. It can be a teacher, a mentor, anyone who pops into your life that it's going to help you through this difficult energy and help you move on with that 6 of Swords, okay? It's someone important in your life. And they're meant to be here. It was predetermined. Right? It's already written into the fabric of your life on the pages of your book of your life. Cool. So you have some help. Keep in mind. Now, the 7 of Swords, excuse me, can be about betrayal and dishonesty, right? It can also be a card of strategy. It can be salvaging what you can and leaving behind what you can't carry with you. Okay. Notice she's kind of stashing some things away. Moving on with this 6 of Swords at twilight. Seems kind of like leaving in the middle of the night without telling anybody, right? So this card kind of makes sense. I mean, I do believe that you're just picking up what you can carry and going, right? There are things that you're going to have to leave behind. All right, Ace of Swords. This is bold clarity, my friend, bold clarity, and you had that. Oh my goodness sakes. So the gift of clarity, the gift of love. Okay, these are new beginnings. This is new beginning in truth. This is a new beginning in love and relationships. Okay, this is the nature of. So this moving on, you're going to be focusing on the opportunities that are ahead of you, not the losses that are behind you, right? Not the struggles that you're leaving behind. You're definitely focusing on your future, which is great. All right, let's get one for this 2 of Cups. What do we have going on here? Woo, come back. Okay. Whoa. No. Well, we had 2 that came out, so I want to take them both. My hands are... Holy moly. Okay. Butterfingers, right? So we have the Fool card in your energy. Yeah, so you're definitely starting fresh. You're starting new, and it's coming out with this. Yeah, someone is helping you with this. Okay, someone's helping you on this new journey. And out with that giant leap of faith, which this moving on like this, leaving sort of this tense situation behind, a situation that you know you've adapted to, the level of pain that you've adapted to, the heartache, the emotional stuff. Moving on into, calmer waters, into the discovery and exploration of what's on this distant shore. Here are your opportunities. You're taking it. This was a leap of faith for you to go off in that boat, and maybe you had to do it in the middle of the night, right? But it's a new beginning for you, and it's one that you consciously made. You consciously made the decision to do this with that Fool card coming out in your energy. And you made it because you're looking at all the possibilities, right? This is not a card of confusion in this reading in your energy, because that Ace of Swords is here to knock all that out. This is all about the opportunities, right? You didn't expend the energy, is what the Six of Swords says. You didn't waste energy, right? And so all the possibilities for you are still there. Wow, you guys, this is beautiful. I kind of feel like this might be attached to pile number 2. Pile number 2 was about making the decision, and it's a hard decision. Pile number 3 is all about moving on. So they may be connected. Feel free to watch pile number 2 if you want that connection. But you don't have to. You don't have to. These are standalone come back, piles. Oh, wow. We have the Five of Swords. Remember, we talked about the Five of Swords. This is what we're leaving behind. This is what you're leaving behind. Okay, with that Seven of Swords, I said it's really probably about you just picking up whatever pieces you can carry and leaving with them. With this Five of Swords showing up under that 7, I do believe it also indicates that there definitely is some sort of, trauma with this conflict, this bully energy. Okay, and you had to leave it behind. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of inner strength. Okay. Under that Ace, yeah, so you do have a message incoming, right? Of good luck, love, fun, magic. So you're definitely leaving this sort of sad morning that you've been in, and you're heading into life. This is really fresh energy. Life is calling you, and you made the choice to get on that boat and move into calmer waters and ready yourself for discovery and exploration of these new and distant shores, right? You're open to the possibilities with that Fool card coming out. Yeah, it's like this heavy weight is lifted. The fog is lifted. The sun is going to come out for you. The sun is going to come out for you in your energy. The Knight of Swords is a card of action. So you did have to take action. You really had to sort of cut away from the truth, or cut away to get to the truth of the matter. Also, the Knight of Swords can be a little rash and make a decision without considering the consequences. I don't feel like this is the case. I just feel like it was, maybe you didn't feel like you really had a choice but to do it. And you did it. And you did it swiftly with the speed of this Knight of Swords here. You have clarity. You have clarity. And we have the Lover's card coming out. So yeah, maybe that Two of Cups is a romantic connection. It's a love connection regardless, right? Because we love our soulmates, good or bad. They can sometimes come in just to kind of trigger us, right? The Lover's card is also about getting back to the authentic you. When we're in this constant state of mourning and fighting and sort of have this dishonest energy around us, we can lose track of who we are. It can create doubt and fear and confusion, right? So this is a realignment. You're realigning with who you are at your authentic level, right? Living your life through your authentic filter, right? And you're going to be able to do that because you have that Ace of Swords. This is a powerful card to come out, you know, in first position in this reading for you, because there is no doubt anymore. There is no confusion. You are moving on, okay? But it does seem like you do have some kind of help to do this. Yeah, we have the Four of Cups coming out, which is a card of awareness. So there's been something around you that you're just like, I can't even. I've gone through all these cups. I can't even, right? And maybe somewhere in you know, in your heart of hearts, you know that this could just be a temptation to keep you in place, to keep you from moving on. So beware of this energy. I feel like maybe it should be over here with a little bit of this betrayal and this fighty energy. Like someone might have, I mean, you're not taking it, but someone might have offered you something to stay. It's not this person. Something to do with the situation that you're leaving behind. Maybe they tried to make it sound really good. That you were like, nope, I have a date with the boat. I'm leaving. Look at this, the Three of Pentacles. This was a collaboration to get you out of this, The plan, the collaboration. And it was successful, right? Because the threes are a card of mastery. You've successfully maneuvered out of this energy. Congratulations to you, whatever this situation is. It could just be a physical move too. You know, sometimes places hurt us. Sometimes places hurt us. They hurt our hearts. Like the energy of a place, right? They hurt our hearts, and look what just came out. Yeah, the Three of Swords, daggers through the heart. Yeah, it did hurt you. There was heartache and sorrow and grief. But you know what? You found the strength to move on. There are a lot of swords here. Whew. Yeah, you've been in your head a lot about all of this. I think this is why this Ace of Cups is coming in with this new beginning in love, right? I think you're coming back to love. You know, if you've been in this sort of survival mode of just trying to get through your day and survive the situations, the people, and the places around you, we strategize, and we strategize from our head. Okay, we don't strategize from our heart, but this reading is actually leading you back to the heart as you're crossing into calmer waters. Okay, it's going to be safe for you to do that. It's going to be really safe for you to do that. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out for this. This is a beautiful reading. I'm happy to see you moving on into calmer waters. All right, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, it's a card of movement, right? It's mastering something and then figuring out what worked and applying it to other areas in your life, right? What comes after the Eight of Pentacles and all this hard work and movement? The Nine. And that's just for you. It's a very independent, self-confident energy that comes with the Nine. So this is the worker bee card. Keep working. Keep doing what you're doing. Because it's going to be wonderful for you. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out. We have the Hanged Man. So you've been in kind of a cosmic timeout. Yeah, this is like a whole new trajectory for you. It's a whole new path. It's a whole new realm. You're leaving all of this heartache and sort of ick energy behind you, right? This is a card of pivot. It's a card of enlightenment. You understand everything now, and you know the direction that you need to go, and it's not a direction that you've ever gone before, right? Something absolutely new for you as you're leaving this Hanged Man energy, okay? You needed to be in this Hanged Man energy to traverse this difficult situation that you've been in for a long time. And yes, I'm not surprised to see the Strength card. I've said it a couple times already. It takes great strength to do what you're doing. Great strength. Great strength. Great strength. And I'm also not surprised to see the Tower. Yeah, I mean, this is changing your whole world, but in a very, very good way. You're realigning to yourself, right? Now you build your foundation for you, not for somebody else, not for how people tell you to do it, not how, you know, society tells you to do it. This is for you. You do it for you. It's a course correction. It's a realignment. I feel like it's a realignment, not a course correction. I do feel like you had to go through this energy here. I know, I don't want to stop this reading because I just want to help propel that boat for you across that water. I really do. I think this is such a beautiful move for you. Even, you know, it's beautiful. And it's beautiful because you aren't looking at the past in a bad way. You are looking back at the good memories of it as you move forward, ready to embrace the opportunities on that distant shore, right? In that new place, whether that's, you know, internal or external, right? This is an energy that's coming back around, this energy that, you know, at playfulness and fun, childlike. That is beautiful. I wouldn't even worry about packing bags because there's cool stuff waiting for you on the other side, right? Okay, we're going to end that here. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe, share with your besties, and I'll see you next time.